My number one symptom is the ear pressure and pain. It's in my left ear. It's been about 4 or 5 years. It sort of came on overnight, and some days it's fine, some days it's bad. Sometimes it feels like I've got water in my ear, or just pressure, maybe sinus pressure dealing with the ear. On top of the pain. Yeah, sometimes I can hear my own voice echoing in my ear, or my heart beating. I can hear that at times as well. If my heart rate goes up, I almost always hear myself talk. Always feels like I have water in my ear. I hear my heart beating. Yeah, so I've been avoiding exercise for the past 2 or 3 years, or at least any strenuous exercise that gets my heart rate up. It seems to aggravate those issues and progressively just make them worse. I've went to an allergy specialist. I've been put on different allergy medications. I've seen Dr. Wadood for anxiety. Been on Xanax and Klonopin. Second issue is the joint pain, the popping, grinding, muscle soreness. Most of the pain is here. Sometimes the pain will shoot up along here, and then the popping, sometimes getting stuck open. A couple times a week that I notice it. The jaw issue's been for about 9 years. Started out with one side of my teeth not touching on the left side, and occasional popping, very mild pain. And over time, it's just progressed. The ear issue started happening on top of it, and now it gets pretty severe. I haven't chewed gum in a very long time, just because that seems to irritate it. Yeah, consistent chewing. I try to stay away from meats like steak that require more force on the jaw. Third one is anxiety. I've dealt with anxiety for a large part of my life, and so about 15 years. And the unfortunate part is, I used to be able to deal with my anxiety in other ways, whether it be exercise or whatnot. But now, when my anxiety comes on, I just get severe pain in my jaw, and it's a double-edged sword. I can't really do a whole lot about it. Yep, I've been on some medicine, but that's not a permanent solution for me. The fourth issue I have is migraines. We believe, or I believe, and my parents believe that that has been basically since I've been born that I've had those issues. Recently, within the last 13 years, realized that caffeine is a partial trigger. Cutting out caffeine, I've been able to reduce the amount of migraines I have down to just a few a month. I was around 6 years old when I was put on medications for migraines, and whenever I would take them, they would pretty much knock me out for 4 or 5 hours, and I'd wake up feeling better, but as an adult, if I took something like that, that wouldn't be an option. I would say I would have migraines about 15 times a month. Avoiding caffeine, usually a max of 5 per month. Yes, whenever I can tell the migraines coming on, I start to lose vision in my left eye. There's colored like spots where I don't see anything. If I close my right eye and stare at a piece of paper, I can tell that there's words missing or letters missing on the piece of paper. If I take like an Excedrin migraine, at that point, that can usually, I can usually skip over that migraine, or at least have a very mild one. I'm doing substantially better overall. Pretty much all my primary symptoms have completely gone away, or 95%. At least 95% improvement. I used to have a lot of pressure in my left ear, and, it felt like I was just, the bone was pushing up in there, almost slight hearing loss associated with that, and then the congestion. I've had that for probably had it for 4 or 5 years before I started treatment. And, after phase 1, I would say that the symptoms, substantially, went away within a month or 2, and they just continued getting better.
Stayed that way. Okay.
Yes. So I used to have shooting jaw pain on the left-hand side, and, it could be with chewing, it could be with talking, and it made day-to-day life, a lot more difficult. And that was a slower progression towards getting better, but I'd say that also has improved at least 95%. There have been some changes with anxiety. I'm no longer taking medication nearly as often to help with anxiety, and I'd say probably a 50% improvement. 99%.
Awesome.
I can't complain about that.
Okay.
Well, I've only had 1 migraine this year, and even that was the most minor migraine I've ever had. I had the loss of vision in my left eye, and I had some pressure on my forehead, but absolutely no pain, which was kind of odd to experience that. But yeah, balance has seemed to improve. When I'm working and carrying heavy equipment, I just feel more planted. I feel like I can carry more weight, not have any problem with that. No pain in the neck or back area where I used to occasionally have, some shooting pain. And as well as, my face muscles and the joint. There's no more popping, shooting pain. My number one issue I was experiencing was congestion and pain in my left ear. I've noticed almost a complete elimination of that symptom. I'd say 99%. Jaw pain. I was usually on the left side, but both sides it could get painful. I'd say that's completely resolved, 100%. 100%. And I found that once treatment started, that the anxiety just continually got better. I had seen some doctors, but it was just medication. It wasn't any resolution. 99%. I was getting migraines since I was a child, probably around 8 years old. A few times a month at least. I've had 1 minor migraine in the last year. I haven't had any problems since. 100%. 100%. Yeah, so I'd have problems opening my jaw far enough to even eat like a burger or sandwich sometimes. It just really tight and tense in my jaw.
Can you open up?
Yeah.
Can you show me? Oh, okay. That's like burger plus.
I would say I'd make the same decision. No regrets.